Hey guys, we're back. Guys, we're back. Our Indie Talks Thursday. You already know what's going down. You more than my girl, you really are my friend. I knew all my means would go to justify the dance. So let's see. Our co-host is here. Our guest is here. Let's pull everybody in. If you get a migraine, no one there to rub your temples. Loyalty like oil in the system. Hold on, what happened? Okay.
Oh, good to be back.
Yes. I like this. This is so, I love it.
Yeah, it's like this. Hi.
What's up, guys?
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. How you guys doing?
We're great.
Good. Huh? Oh my goodness. Love it. Listen, I'm super excited for this interview because I'm ready to get into it. This jam is definitely, I've been listening to it all week. Definitely has me in a good space.
Yeah, it's like good vibes.
Thank you, guys.
So first of all, thank you so much, Cannon, for being here with myself and Danielle on our Genius Indie Talks. We are super excited to have this conversation with you today.
Me too. Very excited.
So I apologize, guys, if I sound a little deep because, I'm still trying to get over Vegas and everything like that. So it's a little crazy.
Reasonable.
So, guys, you already know what it is. Listen, we're here, Thursday Indie Talks. We're here with no other than the baddest right here in bars right now, Cannon. So you know that we speak to no other but the realest, okay, that's doing it in the industry. So thank you so much for being here today. And we're going to go right ahead and jump on into it. So, Cannon, first of all, talk about, first off, your name and how you really got started in music and when you really thought, say, hey, I can do this.
Yeah, that's a good question. So when I figured out I could do it was probably when I was 13 years old. Without telling anybody, I came out with like an album online and I nobody. I told 3 people. And it charted in the UK and it charted in another country I can't remember the name of. And then it got taken down because I didn't have the rights because I didn't know what I was doing because I was 13. But since then I knew I had it and I worked on it really, really intently. I never wanted to come out with anything that would sell me short. So I really worked for a number of years. And then the way I got the name Canyon, because that's my name, but it wasn't always my name. But the way I got my name Canyon was I wanted a name that really just kind of stood on its own. That was like a word that could kind of like a one word kind of name. And I spent like a month trying to think of something. And then I thought of Canyon. I liked it because it's deep. And then also I'm from New York, but I live in LA. So it's California, New York. So it had a lot of elements.
What part of New York are you from?
I'm from right outside the city.
Okay.
So first off, well, thank you so much for that. Go ahead, Danielle.
So what I really wanted to get into, so like you said, I'm actually going to take one of your bars from one of your songs. So you've been rapping since 11, you're 27, beasting for 16 years, been 16ing. What are some things that you changed about your style from the beginning up until now?
Everything. I think at the beginning, you feel like at least I felt like I had something. I felt like it was a skill, but then what would go on paper, what would go on the recording process wouldn't be like what I had in my head. So just kind of being able to know what thing I'm thinking of, I can do and how I can do it. I think that's been a big shift. And then I think I figured out my voice a lot since then. Also, I got my tonsils taken out. So I just sound a lot older and I just grew up, but my voice really changed. I got a lot raspier, which helped me a lot with some of my tracks. And I think I just became more worldly. I'm not just, when I'm talking about an issue, I'm not really just talking about me. I'm talking about issues people face and things that go on in the world. So there's just a little more scope in it.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. So first of all, talk about some of your influence, because we know you have worked with a lot of great artists, and we're going to talk about that later. But talk about some of your influences in music.
Yeah, for sure. So you're saying talk about some of the artists that influenced me, or you're talking about my features?
Yes.
Influence.
Sorry, as I fix my camera.
By the way, can I smoke? Is that okay? Is that all right?
Yeah. Do your thing. You in your own space.
In this virtual room. All right. So I'd say some of the influences that I've had, Kid Cudi's like a really big influence in me musically. Just kind of like the different dimensions that you could bring to a flow, the different emotions you could bring to a flow, the different things you could write about in a song. He's a big influence of mine.
Yeah.
Tupac since I was young, like Tupac's been a huge influence. Tupac's been a huge influence in the sense that I think a lot of my character has been driven from reading Tupac's biographies, listening to his albums, like just kind of just a lot of my characteristics as a person, which is then translated to music. And then musically, like I love Kanye. I really like, I'm not going to say I don't like anybody. Like I really, I think there's too much made of like, oh, I like this rap, but I don't like this rap. Like I like Nas and I like Future and I like Young Thug and I like someone lyrical. Like it doesn't, anyone can inspire.
It's a whole variety.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, those, I mean, I don't want to say nobody, I don't want to say a few people, but so many people inspire me. Wiz inspired me. Lil Wayne inspires me a lot. Jay-Z. So,
because everybody has their own distinctive like style and and trend and sound of music, so it can influence any up and coming artist to kind of mix it up a little bit, you know what I'm saying, and put your spin on it and things of that nature. So listen, we don't hate it over here either, okay? We like it all.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's you just combine everyone you like, throw them in a pot, and then you add a little yourself.
This is what you get, exactly.
A little something.
I want to go back a little bit. So you were discussing about how when you came out with you secretly came out with your first album, you said only 3 people knew about it, and then it got taken down due to copyrights. Now, what did you learn from that? Like, how did you start learning about copywriting and what you need to do to release your music as you got older?
That's a good question. A lot. There's a lot to know. I learned the process of leasing a beat, because you don't really buy a beat ever, really. So leasing a beat, and I learned how to do that. I use an app called BeatStars, who I'm not being paid to plug. I just really like that. So I use BeatStars, and they have the contracts within the beat. So I figured that out. I figured out how to use a DSP. I use a similar DSP that I won't plug them. I learned kind of, and then I learned like what needs to go in to make it studio quality. So I personally am not good at recording studio quality stuff by myself. I probably could, and I've tried to learn, but it just wasn't my strong suit. So I learned like how to kind of work around that, how to get people to mix and master it, how to, certain studios to go to. So I just kind of became like a professional, honestly. Like it went from just being something I liked and like loved and was passionate about and just felt like I should do, to something I was like, let me take all the steps, 360, get all the way around this. And then, all right, now we're releasing music.
Okay. So with that said, like, now that you learned that, like, how are you continuing to educate yourself just with everything that's transpiring, even with, with major labels and contracts and all sorts of stuff? How are you keeping yourself educated now with everything learned?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I definitely read a lot on the internet. That's one way I try to do it. TuneCore puts out a lot of good information about that. I also speak with a lot of people. So one of the things I've learned about music is like, you really it's kind of like, the internet, right? Like we all make kind of friends on the internet, but when you're a rapper, like, and in other jobs, you talk to people a lot on Instagram. Sometimes, you set up calls with them. And, it becomes this like real legitimate world where you're not just meeting random people. You're meeting people like who are, at record labels or are producers or work in publishing. So I've spoken with a lot of those people to try to keep learning, but I can't say I know everything. I mean, I know how to put out songs legally. I know how to find beats legally. I know how to do all that. But, do I know kind of the intricacies of kind of what the next step is? That's what I'm trying to figure out before I take it.
Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like you're still learning, you're still trying to understand, but it's the fact that you're willing to learn. It's the fact that you're willing to, be open-minded and be like, okay, I'm going to ask questions. you know, I'm kind of see what's good over here and there and kind of piece the two together. So that is what's important. And you're taking those steps.
And also, like, just in the industry, you always want to remain a student to the game. You know, you don't always want to, like, there's always something to learn. Like, nobody is like the master of everything, because you're constantly learning something new every day, you know?
Yeah, and it's always changing too, right? So it's like you could be the master yesterday, but
right,
something new is out and you got to learn it.
Yeah,
that part.
That's the truth with the digital platforms, you know, music, movies, everything. Like, everything's moving every day. So there's really, things have changed. Things have become so much more digital the last 20, 25 years that it's like, you know, you always have to be learning, or you're signing up to fall behind.
Absolutely.
That is so true. Now, speaking of always learning and things of that nature, so let's talk about trends. So first of all, like I said, your music, from everything that I've listened to, really been vibing out all this week to the sound. Now, let's talk about trends. You know, how do you hold your individuality as an artist and not get caught up in all of the trends and looks and styles and sounds that we have today?
I think I've gotten lucky with that, in the sense that I really just like writing raps. So, like, you know, like, I'll smoke it. Someone's here from my Alexa. I'll smoke a J and I'll think of 50 lines, and there's really nothing I can do to stop that. Like, I want to do it. Like, I'm attracted to it. I thought of something. It's great. I want to, like, work on it and pick around at it. So because I have that drive, I think it keeps me away from copying people, because I'm kind of naturally influenced. I'm not like, shit, I've got to make it as a rapper, so let me make a Young Thug sounding song because that's what people like now. Or let me make a Jay sounding song because that's what. So I'm just, you know, I'm just trying to make, like, my approach is just to try to make a song that's true to me. That said, I think most rappers will tell you this, or most good ones will kind of tell you that, like, you do write what you listen to. So if I listen to Kanye or Rick Ross, like, I'm going to be naturally, without trying to, the words will actually develop, like, the way I write will be like them somehow. I don't know how it happens, but your brain really does have, like, a bit of a recency bias with that. And it says, this is the last thing I heard. Like, this is what you took in. This is what I spit out. So you do kind of got to be careful, like, about listening to someone you think is whack too much, which I guess is who wants to do that anyway?
Right.
No, that's true. I kind of want to get into your collaborations now. And so you have features with legends. Like, let's just get into it. One being with Jadakiss and one with Raekwon. I want to discuss, how did those collaborations come about? Because the songs are fire. And like, also, just like, even when I was on YouTube, just like watching looking at the comments, like, you had a lot of like positive comments. Like, a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, I came here from an ad. Oh, I came here because Raekwon reposted it. Oh my gosh, this is so dope. So it's just like, what's going on in your head, and how did this come about?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, I appreciate that. So they came about, I was recording really during the, right after, like, lockdown, but like kind of in lockdown time. And I was just in the studio a lot in New York, and I was meeting a lot of people, and eventually I linked with Ray's brother, Don, Perion Don, and he said, like, we just kind of kept talking, and he's just like a really nice guy. He was giving me so much advice about how I could, like, save money in certain things, and so he was, like, really genuinely just, like, spending a long time on the phone with me, and then we worked out the Raekwon verse. So then from there, he was just like, kind of like, what do you want next? He was very, very like, he wanted to help me. He was very, like, you know, like, he saw something in me. So then I was like, I mean, I gave him kind of a list of names, and one of them was Jadakiss, and they had worked together before and had a good relationship. So then he helped me set that up.
Damn, that's dope. You just give a name, he's like, all right, I want to work with Kiss, and then all of a sudden you work with Jadakiss.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
but you know what? I love not situations, but, you know, setups like that, because it's just like, when somebody really look at an artist and be like, yo, I can really see they hungry, like, they want it.
Yeah, and I fuck with you.
And they got it, and your talent backs that. Of course, anybody that sees that energy, they want to be able to invest in you. So I like, first of all, congratulations on the collabs, because they hands down dope. You're a dope artist. Yo, keep doing your thing.
Appreciate that. Yeah. I remember I sent him some other names. Like, one, I forgot who it was. There's one that he was like, yeah, that's not going to happen.
Jay-Z.
Who was it?
Who you name dropped?
I honestly don't remember. But I do remember I said Slick Rick, and he was like, let me see. I'm friends with Slick Rick.
I mean, listen, and this is shoot your shot. And like,
yeah.
you honestly, you never know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Slick Rick, though?
Almost. That one almost happened for real, though. Like, that did almost happen. It's just that I ended up doing the song that I was going to have on him. But, yeah, he was like, as long as it's got, like, a storytelling vibe.
Okay.
Yeah, because...
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. It definitely makes sense, but I can see a little...
We need this to happen.
Slick Rick, what happening?
I hope it does happen. Yeah, for the second album.
Listen, all you gotta do is speak it. I'm quite sure it definitely will. First off, now next, let's get into your music, okay? So of course, we know that first of all, In the Paint was one of your tracks that definitely went viral. It went crazy, SoundCloud, Spotify, and then of course now your latest you have is Friends, which we just listened to in the introduction for those who came in early enough to hear. That was the track. So if you don't got it, you better go get it and put some respect on this man's name. Okay, purchase it. So let's talk about the track, developing with Friends, and the process in which you basically have that and how that's leading into your upcoming projects. Yeah,
that's a good question. So I feel like taking a step back, like making the order of what singles you release when you're not at a label who decides it for you is really hard, actually. Like really, really hard, especially when you're a new artist, because if I came out with Friends first, then that would probably be kind of a bit of the base that people would be evaluating me at. Mm-hmm. And then it would be like, oh, he went with an old school rap thing with Raekwon. So the order that I did it with, I like really spent a lot of time changing my mind. And finally, I'm still happy with this order. I think it was good. But really, the transition to Friends, I think, is to kind of signal that the album that I'm releasing is not going to be so straightforward in a good way. Like so if you heard Shark Tank, In the Paint, Reservations, and kind of think you had me pegged, like, yeah, you don't, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I was like, wait, I was like, this is taking a turn.
You always get a little something just to shake it up a little bit.
Yeah, and because I mean, my favorite artists and my favorite songs are like these complex albums where the beat changes and where you're like, where like one song flows nicely to the next. So I try to think like, what do I like? Like, I don't like when there's an album and like there's one song where I'm like, it's very obvious his label hadn't put this on. Yeah, it's like a throwaway. So I really like, I cut some pretty good shit. Like I was like, it's got to be like at a very high bar for me to put on the album. So Friends was just my way of kind of introing that. Like, it's kind of almost like you hear this old school rap, the beginning, you hear the In the Paint, which is kind of inventive. And then it's like, all right, but there's going to be new stuff that is genre bending and trippy and cool and melodic and singing and rapping. And it's going to be different than you expect. So that's really what that was about.
Love it.
Okay. And now you mentioned being independent, you don't have to have, like, the labels aren't picking the songs for you. Now, what are some pros and some cons to being, from your perspective, to being independent?
So the pros is that, the label's not picking the song. I haven't dealt with that yet, but it seems to be, given that I spent so much time doing it, that it would have been something that would have annoyed me. And, if they weren't in line. So that's one thing. And then another positive is just like, you get to probably, I'm assuming, be more in control of your general schedule, which is nice for people. You get to live your life. I would also say it's a con, though, because like to be on that label schedule is something that's really appealing for me. That said, I'm wary to sign to a label because of the idea that like I'd really be probably signing a shitty deal for myself. Even if I do like the best job possible, I would need a significant amount of leverage to get a deal where I'm getting paid the way I should. So that's kind of my thought on it. Like, I feel like if I were to sign to a label, that would be a disadvantage. But the advantage is, one, the schedule, two, like the features, you don't have to like necessarily have that incredible fate that I did. Like it could just free flow. Like, not to meet somebody, it can just, oh, this guy's perfect for you. So that's good. But then negative, that's disingenuous, right? You're working with someone maybe you never met. Maybe that's kind of lame. So
yeah.
I feel like I listen to Russ speak a lot. I think a lot of the stuff that he says about labels are very interesting. And I don't have a conclusive thought on it. All I know is that obviously artists are getting screwed because labels really just put the music online. That's like one of their biggest abilities. They just click submit. That's what he was saying on something I was watching the other day.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see.
But what's so crazy is like, you know, you're putting in the work as an independent artist. You know, you have, you know, built your following, you have built your listeners. And honestly, to be honest, you know, coming from someone who worked for a major label, like, you know, you have the brand, you have the ideal, and being that if I was a major label, like, okay, you know, if I were you, I would say, you know what, let's try to negotiate about a publishing deal. Like, I think, honestly, in my opinion, I feel like that's the only thing that major labels are really good for is the publishing deals. Like, they can give you a publishing deal. Like, you come to the table, because honestly, as an independent artist, yes, it takes so much more for you to kind of do it, and making sure you have a good team to help you to do it. And have the backing, and with the label, like, okay, they can put into the market, they can put into making sure the music and things and that stuff get out there pretty much as well, but they have a wider bandwidth, I guess, so I put it like that, in that nature. Like, but you already doing the damn thing.
I know, yeah. I appreciate that advice a lot, by the way. I don't know. I'm still like learning and mulling it over. I don't have like a final take, but that's interesting to just take the publishing side of it. You know, it's like being a small business versus being next to McDonald's, you know?
No, it is. And then sometimes, like, you know, sometimes you may have to like run through those mistakes just so you can learn, and that becomes a lesson. You know, not every L is like a bad thing. It's always a lesson.
Yeah, that's true. I just, you know, you don't want to lose like your masters in that L. Like that, I'm trying to avoid as little as I can lose in that L as possible.
Right.
Then I learn, but then I'll take it.
Yeah.
So with that being said, with you being an artist and experiencing everything that you have from the age of 11 all the way to this point, what would you say has been your best to worst moment?
Best to worst moment? That's an interesting question, because I've never thought about that. So now I have to think about that. The best moment has got to be when Shark Tank took off, I'd say. And honestly, and like when Reservations took off, and when In the Pain took off, and when Friends took off, like when the songs like start to do well, and again, like people will be like, well, who cares? You made a good song. Shouldn't you feel happy with that? It's like, yeah, no, but I know I made a good song. Like that's over. You know, like I got over.
But it's not other people know that I made a great song, and they're acknowledging that.
Yeah, exactly. So no, it's not like for like the money or the clout or anything. It's just kind of like I want it to get its just due because I made it. So yeah, so those moments are cool, definitely. And then the worst moments. I'd also say, by the way, the best moments are like recording in the studio. That's also the best moments. I love recording. I love thinking of shit on my couch whether I'm at the studio at home. Like that's the best. But the best moments of like the career part are definitely when they blow up. But the worst parts, I mean, maybe before they blow up, like a few hours preceding that.
Like the road to get there is what's okay.
Yeah, because like when you put the song out, like it doesn't, you know, always immediately do numbers. So like that period before where you have to be patient and be like kind of pace around. But I got used to that. Now I'm like, whatever. Now I have more confidence. It's 4 for 4. So like I feel like if I put something out, it's gonna have an audience. But yeah, the part where I was
talk your shit. Be confident with it.
But yeah, the beginning though, you know, you don't know. It's
right.
Spin the wheel. So.
Okay. And damn, I had a question. Really, one thing I want to know, when is Meanwhile coming out? This is an album that you're supposed to be releasing early this month.
Yes.
We're in the early of this month. What's the date?
It is April 7th. Look at that. Yeah. So I've changed my mind on Meanwhile in terms of the early April release date. This is breaking news. I'm telling the world right now.
Oh, it's exclusive.
Exclusive, yeah. Drop the bombs, flex bombs. So yeah, I'm not. It's done and completely done. But what I'm trying to do, the Friends video has been delayed in a few ways. So I'm trying to put that out, and that's giving me the opportunity to be like, let me make sure like I thrust kind of because I'm only gonna come out with my first album once. Never gonna happen again. So let me thrust kind of everything into it, whether that be, I'm probably not going to add any songs because I think it's perfect and I haven't added any in a while, but let me make sure that my promotion is exactly what I picture. Because I have that, I'm the, chief marketing officer of the album. So I got to also think of that. And I like what I have, but I'm also like, let me make it like an experience. Let me make it like a movie. So I'm actually thinking of changing the name. I'm going to change the name to Meanwhile, The Adventures of Canyon to have more of that cinematic feel. And that's going to be a cool.
Oh,
I'm liking that. Okay.
Oh, you should have like an intro of like a like that movie voice like that comes on or something like that. You should do that. Ooh, hire me. But anyway, yeah.
Listen, shoot your shot. I do have a question on your single friends, because I know you definitely broke down the definition in the music itself, but for you personally and your own individual self, what makes it more of the friend than like, oh, this is my partner or my girlfriend or that type of situation?
Yeah. So I've been with my girlfriend for a while, so it's like hanging out, like watching TV for a while, like telling them. I think it's like just breaking that wall of like, sometimes I hear couples like, oh no, like we don't hang out that much, or like like they don't really do so much together. And I just think that's I mean, not all couples, but like couples that are just kind of like a bit more surface level. I could probably think of better examples. I'm saying, but I'm just saying, like, it's like, why can't we also be friends? Like that part of the relationship where you start to kind of trying to say it right, we go from the part of the relationship. You don't want to stick
your foot in your mouth right now. I know. Right? Your girlfriend probably watching.
She like, say something right.
Yeah, no.
Say it all right.
No, I'm saying like when you go from like being with someone from like, let's say the 4-month part where you like stop bullshit and you stop like trying to like be the most version of yourself. That's kind of what I'm getting at. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, got you.
I mean, like with relationships like that, like friendship should really be like the main start. Like you can't have a relationship until you build that friendship first.
That's what I agree. Yeah, totally.
Lord, let's not start the dating chronicles.
Kicking it with the homie. Okay. All right. So first off, Kenyon, thank you so much for definitely having this conversation with me. This is amazing. You dropped some jewels. You gave some. You definitely, we learned something. I'm quite sure. I'm hoping everybody that's in the live definitely took some notes and took some importance of what it is, about artistry and being creative. And
you
still
wrote down the site that he spoke about with the beats in the beginning.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So one thing I definitely, I always love to ask our artists is that, what is some of the, I don't say advice, but I say encouragement. What is one of the most encouraging things you can give to other artists who's listening to this platform or who's going to listen to this platform to really say like, I'm making the decision today to really, follow my dream in music or just in music business?
Yeah, for sure. I'd say 2 things. Like, first of all, I'd say one of the biggest things I learned is like finish what you're doing and give yourself the opportunity to like make a finished product, because people have listened to songs on the radio their whole life. They expect a mixed and mastered song. So if you do not have a mixed and mastered song, or like you didn't really think it out, then it is not going to compete against the rest of the music. So don't like get there. But like get there, like make the song mix and master, find a way. That people will do it online for not that much. Like figure it out. It's not that hard once you start trying. And the second thing I'd say is once you start going for it, once you put yourself out there, it gets easier every single day. It's scary at first, but it's really not that hard once you do it.
Yes. How do you make sure you have like the right people as far as like team wise around you?
That is like you learn by messing up, and then you play them, and then
the lessons that turn into lessons.
But I have some good people. I have some very good people. You start with a lot, and then you whittle it down to a few.
Mm-hmm. And those would be the main road dogs that be rocking with you. Those few.
Yeah.
Trust.
Exactly.
Well, first of all, Kenneth, thank you so much. Before you go, I do have to ask, all right, who is your top 5 artists. I know this is really hard. I asked this. Who's your top 5? Who you checking? Who you got on your playlist?
Top 5. I'll just give it. I'll do it kind of all time, but kind of generally. But this isn't official. If anyone ever asks me later,
it's forever changing.
Yeah. Lil Wayne's definitely top 5. I'll do like actual top 5 skills in my opinion. Kind of the 3 guys I think. Lil Wayne, Eminem, Jay-Z, Kanye, and then it's really tough the last one. You know, it's because then it's like, who do I give it to? Like Tupac, Biggie, Nas. But I'll give it to Tupac or Andre 3000. I'm just gonna name people I like. I don't know.
Listen, that's fine, and that's a good list.
I like that because I mean, normally we hear the usual,
the general, yes.
Yeah, you know we already know Tupac. We already know
Biggie, Nas, Tupac, Eminem.
You got Nas, but I like that. You know the Eminems, and you got Lil Wayne. You got who else? You said Andre 3000. That's my dude. I'm sorry, hands down. That's my guy. People be sleeping on him.
Very underrated. Very underrated.
Amazing. And I'll add 2 actually because there are 2 guys on my album who are unbelievable and I actually do belong in this, which is King Crooked, Crooked Eye, and Big Crit. Big Crit's amazing.
Yes, he is. Hands down. Well, okay, you gave us some artists in here. Okay. So first of all, thank you so much. This interview was fire. I love it. You was amazing. Love the energy. Great vibes. That's what we bring over here. Okay, nothing but great vibes. All right.
We have one last question. Somebody wants to know who's your biggest inspiration.
Who's my biggest inspiration or what's
yeah. R Wiener 44 wants
I don't see the comments, so I can't see it.
Yeah, R Wiener wants to know who is your biggest inspiration.
I said it at the beginning, but I know that people came in and out. I'm going to go with Tupac. Tupac is my biggest inspiration, for sure.
So if you don't know, now you know.
Exactly.
Love it. Love the plug. Danielle, I don't see the comments. Is there any other questions or anything like that for our guests?
We got a lot of love from the ladies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot of love from the ladies. Just no more questions.
Okay.
A lot of love from the ladies.
All right. So you are loved, Kenya, in this live, okay?
What can I do?
So first of all, thank you again. So everybody, thank you so much for just coming in, supporting. If you don't follow Genius or us, please follow us. All right, we have come through you every Thursday with honor interviews like this, okay? Sitting with some of the hottest and the greatest, okay?
Yeah.
And then Kenya, thank you so much for coming through, definitely sharing your experience and your words of wisdom. You are definitely one of the real ones, okay? And we can't wait to hear the new project, and we'll put it on our Music Friday.
Yes, purchase it. Don't just stream it. Purchase it.
Just don't stream. Purchase. Definitely support our independent artists. Let me tell you, because it's real out here. Definitely support our artists. It takes a lot to be an indie artist, a lot of money out of your own pocket to be an independent artist. Okay, because especially we support our great, unique talent like yourself. So definitely, guys, if you're listening to this, please, 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 definitely go purchase Kanan's music. You will not be disappointed.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys so much. This was awesome. Happy to do this again anytime. It was amazing.
Of course. Thank you. We got to stay connected. And thank you to Tally for the connection. She's amazing, beautiful spirit.
Love to Tally, for sure.
Yes. All right. So you enjoy your evening or afternoon.
Thank
what is it? LA time over there.
It's 4:30. We're good.
It must be nice. And the sun is shining.
Palm trees.
Yeah. Mind you, we just have horrible weather over here and it's raining.
Oh, look at that. I love it. I love the view.
I'm jealous.
It's all right.
I'm jealous.
It's just gloomy over here.
Enjoy that afternoon sunlight. All right. Have a good one.
Bye.
Have a good.
Take care.
Oh, zoom in.
Great interview.
Yes, I love it. Oh my gosh. I just love it. Just the energy, the vibe. Like I said, the music is amazing. Just to be able to hear it, vibe out. I've been vibing all week. Looking forward to this. So it was just really good to, him just to kind of speak on, his collaboration, speak on the things that he is learning and that he's continuing to learn. And I think that's the one thing about, you know, being an artist, an independent artist, that, you know, you're never afraid to ask questions. You're never afraid to keep trying to grow and understand what you're trying to craft yourself in. So
yeah, absolutely.
Good to me. So listen, Danny, it was so good to see you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the kind words. Thank you, guys. Remember, like I said,
Yes,
just go continue. Follow us. We have our Music Mondays. On Monday, we talk about entertainment news. We talk about all the new music releases. And then, of course, on Thursdays like this, our segment, Indie Talks, we're talking with a lot of great artists and music professionals who are doing a thing in this industry, okay? And who's here to teach you and guide you as well for some of the things that they've been through. Maybe you can avoid from probably going through it. So
absolutely.
Listen, you already know.
And then definitely just tune in this upcoming Monday. We weren't here last Monday. Ace is going to give her Vegas recap because I did not go.
Boo, I missed you. Let me tell you, the red carpet missed you.
Dumbass.
Oh my gosh. But that's okay. I got some things. I gotta fill you in on some things. Okay. We talked to a couple of artists. We talked to Little Mosey. We done talked to Casey, the producer, who was Grammy nominated with Justin Bieber. We also talked to no other, the Queen, Grammy nominated Queen of Dancehall. Okay, Spice. Okay, I had to put my Jamaican accent in. I know. But it was amazing. It was amazing. So we definitely be talking about that on Monday. So yes. I just want to tell you that you was missed the whole time. Okay, you were missed. You were missed. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate all the love, the support, all of the feels, the energy. So guys, thank you. Don't forget Monday, tune in. So you already know what it is. It's nothing but
real music,
real style, and real people. And it doesn't get no realer than this. All right. I'm your host, Aasha Lewis Redway, and my beautiful co-host,
Danielle Meeks.
Yes. Okay. So you already know. Until next time, you know what I do.
Peace.